But here you got to give Obama credit. He did what we thought he was going to do, or at least what I thought he was going to do, which is the things that he promised with a little bit more moderation to reach out to the other side. I mean, it's a perfect Obama compromise. Now, not meaning that I think it's the perfect solution, but perfect for representing Obama and his style of politics, where he goes, all right, not 16, I'll give you 19 months. And when we withdraw at the end of August 31st, 2001, you know what? We'll keep 50,000 troops in there until 2011. Now, that's where Nancy Pelosi says, hey, wait a minute, and Harry Reid as well. That's too many troops that you're, quote-unquote, leaving behind. And Pelosi said it should be closer to 15,000 troops that we leave at that point. But overall, it's a compromise I can live with. Now, so the first part, August 31st, 2010, all combat troops leave. But 50,000 troops remain till the end of our commitment, which is the end of 2011. So that's another, 16 months or so, 16, 17 months after that point. Okay? So it's going to take a while, but he is going to get them out, and we're not going to have any troops there left at the end of that. So very, very positive development, obviously. Now let's go to the second part of his speech. Here's clip number 2.
Now, as a nation, we've had our share of debates about the war in Iraq. It has at times divided us as a people. To this very day, there are some Americans who want to stay in Iraq longer and some who want to leave faster. But there should be no disagreement on what the men and women of our military have achieved. And so I want to be very clear. We sent our troops to Iraq to do away with Saddam Hussein's regime. And you got the job done. We kept our troops in Iraq to help establish a sovereign government. And you got the job done. And we will leave the Iraqi people with a hard-earned opportunity to live a better life. That is your achievement. That is the prospect that you have made possible. There are many lessons to be learned from what we've experienced. We have learned that America must go to war with clearly defined goals. We have learned that we must always weigh the costs of action and communicate those costs candidly to the American people. We have learned that in the 21st century, we have to use all elements of American power to achieve our objectives. We have learned that our political leaders must pursue the broad and bipartisan support that our national security policies depend on. And we have learned the importance of working closely with friends and allies, which is why we are launching a new era of engagement and diplomacy in the world. I know that you, the men and women of the finest fighting force in the history of the world, can meet any challenge and defeat any foe. And as long as I am your commander-in-chief, I promise you that I will only send you into harm's way when it is absolutely necessary and provide you with the equipment and support you need to get the job done. That is the most important lesson of all.
Gee, I wonder who he was referring to when he said, now we will have clearly defined goals, the cost of action will be taken into account, and that we will do things candidly, and we will do diplomacy, we'll seek bipartisan support, we'll reach out to our friends and allies. Who didn't do all those things? Now, he didn't say George Bush, right? But it was screaming out of that speech. Don't worry, there's a new sheriff in town. We're not going to do things the wrong way like George W. Bush did. But since he is an amazing politician, in order to smooth things over, he actually called Bush before the speech and said, hey, I want to give you a courtesy call and let you know what our plans for Iraq are, because obviously you cared a great deal. This was one of your principal policies, and I wanted to let you know how we're going to proceed. So the news that comes out of this speech, unless you're listening to the Young Turks, is Obama, so kind to Bush, gave him a courtesy call. But if you listen to the speech, man, he dug at him and he dug at him because he has to. He doesn't agree with any of those things. And he's changing course on those. Including, by the way, he also mentioned in the speech that we're going to go and sit down with Iran and Syria. Now, I would love to see that happen, and I hope that happens soon. And he said, look, we've got some of the top diplomats in our country working on this problem. Dennis Ross, Richard Holbrooke, George Mitchell, they're all in the Middle East working on Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Israel, Palestine, etc., and we're going to go handle this in every way possible. We don't believe that the military is the only solution, but you guys did your job, and for that we're going to reward you. I think it was exactly right.